Yeah, no, I was in the wrestling, waking up every morning on Saturday early to watch it.
Yeah,
It was
man.
on, I think it was on Channel 11 out here, which was KTTV.
That's instead of cartoons in the morning. All right, listen. This show, as you know, Key, is influential. You mentioned it earlier today. You'll have a football take, and all of a sudden, you'll notice it. It doesn't mean people are parroting it exactly, but it will set the mood. If you come out positive about, so the people tend to say, if negative, tend to say negative. So I'm curious to know what you think of this, because I think it will start to influence the way this is framed by people, the way they see this. Bernard Pollard and Lamar Jackson had Twitter beef. Bernard Pollard had been critical of Lamar Jackson. To whatever the motivation, to me, the analysis sounded honest. You don't have to agree with it, but it sounded honest. Lamar Jackson is a run-first quarterback. It's not that he can't make the throws, but he doesn't do it consistently, and the offense is designed as consistently as some other top quarterbacks, and he is elite. He's an MVP. And the offense is designed because of that, he believes. Bernard Pollard believes. Bernard Pollard, of course, hard-hitting safety for the champion Ravens, Ray Lewis team. Okay. So Lamar Jackson flamed him on Twitter, talking. Basically, the point was, dude, you're not as famous as me, right? And man, it touched a nerve with Lamar. And you mentioned yesterday, and I quoted this, or I referred to it on this just in 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, Key, about how you said, look, he's negotiating a contract right now, or they're in that time frame where they're going to be getting a new deal, and it's Ravens on Ravens crime. Why are you trying? He's kind of like messing with the dude's money. Lamar went at him. So yesterday we have Bernard Pollard on the show, and in addition to talking about the back and forth with Lamar, Pollard said this about Lamar Jackson.
Has he gotten better since day one of being there? Yes. Is he an inconsistent football player at the quarterback position? Yes. I truly believe he's a top 10 talent, but not a top 10 quarterback. I do agree he has gotten better, but when it's all said and done, I do not believe he's a consistent quarterback that's going to be able to take this team to the Super Bowl.
Okay, what do you think of that, Key? Is that a fair way to describe Lamar?
It is a fair way, because here's what Pollard was saying. He's gotten better since he's gotten in the league, which is true. He's had some inconsistencies, which is true. However, to say that he doesn't believe that he is a good enough quarterback to take him to the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be so bold on that just yet. The guy is only in his fourth year, going into his fifth year. He hasn't played his fifth year yet. To be able to do what he's done, take over a team from Joe Flacco, go to the playoffs, okay? Then all of a sudden, go to the playoffs as a starter, win the MVP, win a playoff game, then move to the next stages where he got hurt. And you saw the team was rolling. He was an MVP candidate, and he gets hurt. Everybody else gets hurt.
Well, they were all hurt first, Key. Let's not rush past that. He carried that team.
That is true. They were hurt first. Then he gets hurt. The wheels fall from underneath them. They're still fighting and playing well. I think he could have came back at some point in time, but they were looking at the team and probably saying, you know what, just sit tight, man. We all right. Now you're at a stage where he has a contract coming up. They're trying to negotiate this contract. So you have his feelings. You're getting involved in my money. You're trying to set a narrative about who I am by saying that the offense is only set up this way because of my ability. That is very true. But that's with all quarterbacks. That's with all players. If I was a receiver, Clyde Christensen was my offensive coordinator, who's the quarterback coach right now of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I went to Clyde Christensen and said, Clyde, I'm having trouble, and I've always had trouble running an in route from right to left. Can we keep this from left to right? Put that, and Clyde wouldn't call it from right to left anymore because he wanted me to succeed. He would call it from left to right. And that because I just had a problem running an in cut from there. So things are going to be based on your skill set and what you can do so we can maximize your talent. Tom Brady can't run the option. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be damn fools to have him run RPOs or options, right? I mean, that's the reality
Of course,
of
but
it.
here's a question I have for you about that. And it's like a philosophical thing with me I wonder about a lot of the time. I notice it in life where short-term incentives usually dictate behavior more than long-term goals. It takes a special kind of organization or person to set aside short-term incentives, like that fast money, for the long-term goals. And so how does that apply? It applies to energy policy in the U.S. We need energy now, right? But the globe is warming. But we got to burn the fossil fuel because whatever the solar stuff is, we need it right now. And it informs behavior, even if it leads to disaster. This happens in boxing. There are too many titles, yeah, but every time we get a title, we can make our fighter more money, yeah. But overall, the pool is shrinking because of that. Hard to put. It's a matter of the way the game is set up. So that'll dictate the behavior. So when you can run like Lamar, you could always get that first down, it feels like, right? So the incentive short-term is keep those chains moving. But it takes a certain kind of discipline, I mean from the coaching staff on down, to make sure that doesn't interfere with the long-term goal key, which is no matter how well you can run, and it's not like Lamar can't thread the needle. He can. We've seen it too many times. Got a great arm. But to be consistently accurate, eyes down the field, all that kind of stuff, doesn't the ability to run sometimes, that short-term incentive, can that hinder his long-term capacity to play in a way that could win a Super Bowl?
No, not at all, Max. As long as he can continue to do it, why wouldn't you do it, right? Why wouldn't you run the RPOs if it's available to you as long as he can continue to do it? His injuries didn't come from getting hit. His injuries didn't come from him getting beat up. He didn't get whacked on the sideline like RG3 did when the Shanahans put him in harm's way. It's not the same, and I think that's the narrative that's always set about a guy who's running the football at the quarterback position. More quarterbacks get injured in the pocket than they do on the perimeter.
By a very little bit, but it's true, yeah.
Listen to me again, though, Max. More quarterbacks get injured in the pocket than they do on the perimeter.
That is the truth. That's a fact.
They want to set the narrative when talking about it. He's going to be in harm's way. He's going to get injured. Yes, it is more physical if he's running in open space and a dude is taking off 30 yards from down the field and coming at you like a missile. That is very true, but the same thing is true when you're in the pocket. But I do think that Lamar Jackson, with everything around him, as they continue to build, can bring Baltimore Ravens a potential Super Bowl. He really can.
I think so too, but I think the wrinkle there that I put in is if teams are like, okay, beat us from the pocket, we're going to make sure he has to beat us with his arm. You can't do that with a quarterback the opposite way. You can't say, let's see him beat us with his legs because he's got a running back. But you can force a guy to try to beat you with his arm, and if he's not practiced doing that,